Welcome to today's video. We put out a big poll on Instagram and you guys delivered, gave us a lot of really interesting questions. So we're gonna be going through this video answering not just small ones, but bigger ones as well. We're gonna go in depth and just give you guys what you wanna know. A lot of them are training related, some aren't, but most are. You know, it's just kind of, we're trying to give you guys a little bit of insight into our own thought process and maybe some advice. So let's get to it.
Sound like
a quick and easy question is mileage. It was asked by a lot of you. We typically run at most maybe 90 miles a week. I say that, but I haven't actually run it yet. Last year we did a lot of 85-mile weeks. This year we'll build up to that. How do we manage it? Well, there's a lot of different techniques. We actually made a whole video on this subject a few weeks ago, so make sure to check that out. I will try to link it in one of these corners. If not, it's on our channel. A good question is how to deal with injuries that come very close to race day. This is absolutely crucial because it happens and it's very painful. Everything's clicking along, you feel great, and then boom, something goes wrong and you have to race and you don't know what to do. This very instance kind of happened to me back in the spring during track. It was about a week out from regionals and my calf, I think, what is beneath it? My soleus was like really messed up. I almost couldn't run on it. And I was stressed because I'm thinking, oh, I got regionals in a week. I really want to, you know, try my hardest to get through it. And yeah, honestly, I think at that point, the biggest thing you can do is rest. It depends on the injury. You know, bone injuries are different because bone injuries can quickly end a season. Muscular related injuries, a lot of times, just taking the stress and like, I don't know, just giving them time to rest is a huge thing. For me, I probably gave my soleus about like 4 days, no running, maybe a little bit of spin biking on the workout day that I missed, just to, you know, supplement with some of that higher elevated heart rate intensity, stuff like that. But really it just comes down to rest. I got to Arkansas for regionals, went for a little run, and it felt all right. It felt just fine. I went through my races, and I think a big key takeaway is if you're working through an injury right before a race, when it's time to race, do not worry about it. Don't think about it. Just tell yourself, it doesn't matter how my injury feels. Especially if this is one of your last races, you're just gonna go out there, you're gonna kill it, work as hard as you can, and that's that.
The next question isn't really a question. Someone just submitted Milos Kapinski. Yes, that guy's a GOAT. Obviously, we love him, we miss him. He'll be back in the videos once school starts, or actually sooner once we're in Flagstaff, so look forward to that. But the real question I wanted to answer was, what is your shoe rotation? Now this is something that changes very often just because, you know, there's always new shoes coming out and you're always trying new things. But I'll answer from what I've liked in the past and what I am currently liking. So currently I've been traveling a lot, which means I don't really have too much space, so I've only rotating 2 trainers, the Cloud Monster and the Cloud Surfer. And I think those two kind of pair well. Neither of them are plated. They both run quite like naturally, you know, it doesn't feel like something foreign underneath your foot. I think the Surfer feels a little bit more minimal, so I like that. And the Monster has a little bit more under there, so I feel like that's good for longer. The Monster 1. Like, that's what I used on the workout today. They're a great pair of shoes, the most versatile pair of shoes I've probably ever worn. And the Surfer is just a great thing that I like for like really natural sensation of like running. I mean, when I would run in Nike, I would run in a lot of the Streak Fly, so I liked that one as well. But now I've been running just purely in those two, and I like these ones a lot.
Another great question is, how often do you / should you take a rest day? And I think this is an important question, as you know, a big like saying that I've always kind of trained by is you can only train as hard as you recover, and that's very true. Now for us, we run 7 days a week, but our Saturdays are usually kind of our rest day where we're very careful to make sure we're not running a lot, we're not running hard, we're not making anything too serious, too crazy, and it's just a really kind of day to just keep the run simple, enjoy running, and unwind from all the stresses. So Saturday, like tomorrow, I think we have 6 miles, but usually we only run about 5 miles on Saturday, and that's kind of our rest day. But at the same time, if you want to take a day fully off, there's nothing wrong with that. Like taking your Saturdays off, you're not gonna like lose fitness because you took Saturday off. I really don't think that's the case. I think like Nico for a long time took, I think Sundays off in I think in his program, or Saturday?
Yeah, Saturday because I made vlog run. Or no, Sunday, you're right, Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah. Sundays, I think we're always off for a while in Nico's college program. So, you know, you're having one of the best programs in the country, taking Sundays off or Saturdays off. Yeah, rest is totally fine. And I think especially it's about what you need at the moment. You know, if you're really overworked, taking the day fully off instead of, say, like going for like a 10-mile run or an 8-mile run, I think taking the day off would be a lot better if you really need the recovery. It's about figuring out what your body needs and giving that to it so then you can make it healthier and fitter and stronger.
All right. This next question is, have you ever gotten a stress injury and how would you avoid it? So I have not gotten one, Leo has not gotten one, and I think it's a difficult thing because if you haven't had one, it's hard to answer. But I think there's a couple things that I've seen from a lot of my teammates and people I've known who have had them that generally can help you avoid it. I think a big one is just eating enough. You know, if you're not eating enough, your body's gonna need to pull nutrients from other areas. And as much as we'd want it to only pull from fat, I don't believe that's the case. But you could correct me on this, but I think I've heard this before from like Nico and others, but you know, it could pull from your bones and you don't want that because then you're gonna lose density. Next one is just sleep. You know, if you're not getting enough sleep, it's gonna totally accelerate injuries like that. All injuries, not just stress injuries. And then I think another one is kind of on a similar note with recovery is just stress in your life. If you have a lot of stress in your life, that can contribute to stress injuries. You know, like if you're really busy in your schoolwork, that's all you're focusing on and you're very stressed about it, that's not gonna be good for your body. You know, even if it's not like a physical pounding, and that's the next one, it can still affect it. So also the pounding, try and run on soft surfaces, try not to run in carbon plated shoes too much, and doing all those things, you should
Mechanics
have.
too, I think.
What?
Mechanics.
Yeah, and your mechanics.
Direct running.
Your mechanics, but that's harder to like describe in a video, like or in speaking, you know?
Yeah, but I think if you have an issue while you're running, be very deliberate about targeting it to fix it. Otherwise, I think it could, you know, repeating the same issue a lot can lead to stuff like that.
Yeah.
Someone asked, for 3 sessions a week, how do you split that up? How do you manage that? I guess this person's asking, I guess they work out 3 times a week. We don't work out 3 times a week. I guess in a sense, we have 3 more intense days, being our Sunday long run, our Tuesday workout, and then our Friday workout. And as you see with all those things, after the Sunday long run, you have a day of rest. That's Monday. I mean, you're still running, but it's like not a very intense day. After the Tuesday workout, you have Wednesday and Thursday to keep it easy and rest. And then you have your Friday workout, and then you have Saturday to rest, which you take extra easy before you reset for the next week. Yeah, so I think, you know, 3 sessions a week is okay. I think that if you're doing 3 hard interval sessions, really be careful to make sure that you're recovering right, because that can be very intense on the body. And especially if you're stacking week after week after week of 3 sessions a week, I don't know if you would actually get fitter. It depends on if you're recovering well. So, you know, keep an eye on how you're feeling, making sure that like you're not just like surviving it, but you're actually, you know, able to keep pushing and thrive in the workouts. It's certainly a possible thing and a thing that you can do, but I think for me and from my experience, I prefer 2 workout sessions plus a long run as my 3 more intense sessions a week.
This next question I think is really valid. The person asks, was your first tempo run hard? If so, what were some things you did to make it easier? Now, I'm not sure if he's in reference to like your first tempo run of a season or your first tempo run ever, but either way, I think that's quite relatable just because at least, you know, the first time you run a tempo, it's a very foreign feeling because it's like you're running hard, but not super hard, but still kind of long. And I think that's something that just gets easier with time, but you can kind of aid that by focusing a lot on your form, focusing on your breathing to try and relax yourself, you know, and then also just having other people to run with I think is huge. You can kind of find rhythm from other people's strides, and yeah, those are really beneficial. And I think if you're answering it from the season perspective, yeah, the tempo runs can feel slower, and they do, but most of it I think is just when you're first getting back into running, like those first couple easy runs even feel way harder. And I think it's really just your body kind of being a little bit out of its groove. It's not used to the mechanics and it's kind of just moving along, but not quite so efficiently. So there's kind of like a hump that you have to get over before you're gonna feel really smooth again. I find that to usually be around like 40 miles, and then I start to feel pretty smooth, and obviously you keep getting smoother and smoother. No, 40 miles total under your legs from the start of the season.
Okay, so someone asked, what was your mileage through grades 9, 10, 11, and 12? Well, you know, grade 9, we started small, we started pretty relaxed. I think that we were running probably, I think like our easy runs were like 6 miles a day, our long runs were like 8 miles, our workout days maybe totaled like 8 miles total or like 6. No doubles, nothing like that. I think maybe we were running somewhere in the mid 40s, which, you know, we adapted to quite quickly and we sustained that pace for the whole freshman year. Our sophomore year, maybe we pretty much kept that the same, but made our easy runs a little bit longer, like 7 miles, maybe threw in like 1 double a week. So maybe we were like hitting 50, low 50s, right? Our junior year, we started doing like 8-mile runs every single day, doubling 2 times a week, maybe 3 sometimes. And we were probably hitting the low mid 60s, right?
We had maybe 12-mile long runs.
Maybe 12-mile long runs, yep, that's true. Oh yeah, in our sophomore year, we upped to 10-mile long runs, but you know. And then our senior year, we pretty much kept very similar mileage to our junior year. Occasionally we would throw in, especially after cross country, like after the fall, we would add in occasional 14-mile long runs. Only probably did like 3 or 4 of those. I would maybe do 9-mile easy runs sometimes, and maybe the doubles would get a little bit doubler. The doubles would get a little bit longer.
Not
but
really, just longer workouts and stuff.
Yeah, longer workouts. So I'd say we probably hit about 70 our senior year. That was probably about as much as we ever ran. And then, yeah, I mean, that was kind of it. Freshman year of college, went up to 85 is the max, but I'd say throughout the year I probably averaged high 70s, about 80. And this year it's gonna be pretty similar, maybe a little higher.
Okay, so now this one is a little bit concerning, but I think it's a good question. They ask, why do I feel numb, tingly, and lightheaded after a hard run? Now that could be a number of things, but either way, it's not how you'd want to feel after a run. I think even if you push yourself hard, you don't want to feel lightheaded. So 1, you could be really high up at altitude. 2, you could be extremely dehydrated. 3, you could be very just, you know, unnurtured in your food. So like you could be needing to eat a lot more before your run. And then 4, your iron could be low. And there's certainly more options than that, but those are the first ones that come to my head. So I would check on those and try and dial those in because you don't want to be feeling lightheaded.
I'm sure we have videos of, I think even like, again, our video about how to run a lot while feeling really good, I think targets a lot of those issues, right?
Yeah, the summer series 2 episodes ago is a great one. If you're struggling with this, go check that one out. We have a lot of tips in there that I think help you feel really energized and avoid this kind of feeling after runs.
Q&A, it's done. It was fun. Certainly something different. We thought it would be fun to try. Just, I don't know, target some more of the random things that you guys asked, some of the questions we see in the comments that maybe we don't get to address in a way where all of you guys get to hear the response. So hopefully it was useful. Side note, but a very important note, there's a book coming out. It's about Newbury Park. It's about the success of Newbury Park, but more importantly, everything that went into that success. Redefining Fast is what it's called. It's going to be fascinating. I cannot wait for it. It should be available to actually be in hand reading, I think sometime in October. It's available for pre-sale, maybe later, maybe late in the fall. Don't worry so much about that. It's coming very soon. That's the important thing. But most importantly, you can buy it right now. You can pre-sale it right now. So when it's ready, you get that copy. And it's gonna be great. There is a link in the description, so make sure to access it through that link through us. Basically just ties your sale to us, and I guess it gives us a small share of the sale because the whole thing, the whole book, all the advertising is within the running community, by the running community, and it's basically 100% an effort by runners. It's made by Sean, written by Chris Lear, the author of Running with the Buffaloes. And it's all about runners, all for runners, and we just think you guys are gonna love it. Yeah, check it out.